you've been addicted to various substances, whatever. I don't really know the details.
No, just one.
One.
Cocaine.
Did he visit you? Did he visit you during rehab?
Please don't ask about Kevin.
I won't ask.
We have an 18-year-old son, and I'm sensitive to that, but that is not Kevin. I didn't plan on this, but it is what it is.
Seems like Wendy Williams' son hasn't been dealing well with his mother's re-indulgence in her addiction. And we've a message from the loving son where he shares exactly how his mother's condition is taking a toll on him. Kevin Jr. seemed rather heartbroken at the news of his mother losing control over her addiction once again. Even worse, that is the fact that Wendy has supposedly cut all forms of contact with her son. According to reports, Kevin's been through hell this year with everything going on with his mom. It breaks his heart that things seemed to be going well for a while when she was in rehab, but as soon as she got her freedom, she hasn't reached out to him since. Seems like the former host of the Wendy Williams show got seriously offended at the audacity of her son and took it to her ego. It all started when her addiction started spiraling out of control, and Wendy was seen in inappropriate and pitiful situations in public.
Yeah.
Not just that, she would be seen getting in strangers' cars and randomly standing in the middle of a busy day road staring at nothing. Social media showed Wendy no mercy, and soon enough, the rumors of her getting crazy started circulating. Upon hearing this, Wendy's son tried to help his mother initially by taking charge of her rehab visits, but that seemed useless. Until one day, the poor guy had enough. According to reports, Kevin Hunter Jr. gave his mother an ultimatum and told her that if she didn't change her ways, then he wasn't going to have a relationship with her. Initially, it was perceived that it was an act of kindness on Kevin's part, so fans appreciated him trying to mend his mother's ways. A fan commented, "Wendy's son is the real man of the house. Wendy and her son are fire." Another one said, "I like her son. He's straight up like her, but hope he can help her before it's too late." But if you dig in closely, you can clearly distinguish that something about Kevin's technique wasn't right. More so, the threatening tone obviously wasn't lost on anybody. This was a clear message that he'd soon be cutting off all ties with Wendy. Another source claimed, Wendy's relationship with Kevin Jr. has been strained. Her son has been doling out the tough love, telling Wendy, "Get yourself help, Mom." This statement confirmed what we already had a hunch about. Wendy and Kevin Jr. weren't exactly on good terms anymore. But what had changed their relationship dynamics? They were one big happy family a while ago. Wendy cared a lot about her son and even kept him sheltered from social media, even though her job demanded her to be on screen a lot.
Please don't ask about Kevin.
I won't ask.
We have an 18-year-old son,
Yeah.
and I'm sensitive to that, but that is not Kevin. I didn't plan on this, but it is what it is.
Another noticeable moment would be when she had a weak moment in an interview and shared that she was always trying to put up a happy front for her son so he didn't catch on to his mother's distraught situation.
I have to be calm on the phone with him, like a loving mother. I have to be happy on the TV every morning live from New York.
So back to the original question, when did things change? Here's what tore the family into pieces. Wendy seemingly caught her husband Kevin Hunter cheating with another woman, having a relationship with the other woman for more than 10 years. 10 years is a long time to have lived a lie. That too with reality so viciously ugly. Initially, when the rumors started surfacing, Wendy would be seen trying too hard to depict a happy family image on her talk show. Like this one time when she showed her big ring finger and reassured the audience that no third person has the power to destroy her home.
Let's see it, Wendy. Let's see it. What's your
ring?
Ooh.
Another time, she chose her talk show to make it clear to the world that all that nonsense about the other woman and a baby wasn't getting to her.
You can believe what you want, but...
But fans obviously knew better. You can't move on from being cheated on, that too, for that long. So fans started tweeting and asking Wendy to open her eyes and get rid of her toxic partner. A tweet read, "Wendy Williams needs to let her husband go. She's in a sober house and this fool is frolicking around with his mistress. He didn't care then and doesn't care now. She mentions him every show clearly to prove a point, but he's making a fool out of her." Later on, it was out for everybody to see how affected Wendy really was. She was spotted having multiple breakdowns, and it got to the point where the mere mention of her family made her cry. She finally filed for divorce after 22 years of marriage, but she wasn't over her mess of life yet. it. And what do you do when your life is a mess? You deflect by adopting a coping mechanism, right? That's exactly what Wendy did. Unlucky for her, she chose the worst possible coping mechanism and resorted to cocaine. Soon enough, she became an addict, but she hasn't been shying away from the media about her addiction or her struggles. She admitted in an interview that she was a cocaine addict.
You've been addicted to various substances, whatever. I don't really know the details.
No, just one.
One.
Cocaine.
Similarly, she's been telling the media all about her supposed recovery and her struggles along the way. But the addiction wasn't the only hurdle in her way of achieving optimal health. She also suffered from a majority of other diseases. Her increasing health issues caused a major setback in her career when she was kicked out of her show due to progressive absence for one reason or another. Sources reveal that due to her struggles with Graves' disease, lymphedema, and substance abuse, Wendy missed the entirety of her final season on The Wendy Williams Show. All this while her addiction soared higher and higher. Another fellow talk show host, Andy Cohen, who was a close acquaintance of Wendy, referred to her behavior and her struggles with addiction as an existential crisis.
She was having something of an existential crisis where she was like, how am I not talking about this? But I can't because I have a son and I'm ashamed and embarrassed.
This was the time her son Kevin Jr. had to step in for the role of knight in shining armor. Though this threatening approach didn't have the best outcome in the long run, it did get the job done for the time being. Since Wendy had the support of her son and she still hadn't completely lost it, she decided to pay heed to Kevin Jr.'s threats and resolved that enough was enough. She revealed in an interview the exact moment she decided to get herself together and show the world that she's a normal human being who got caught up in the mess of her life it had become.
Girl, this is your time. You gotta get this mess together.
She started rehab therapy and openly admitted to changing the focus of her life to herself only, her mental and physical health to be precise.
You know what, Karen? I'm happy. I'm healthy.
She was reported to have overcome her addiction as well as to get her other health issues under control after only 2 months in the rehabilitation center. The channel that she hosted released an official statement that said, "We're happy to report that Wendy Williams is home and healing after being in a wellness facility since August. Fans were ecstatic to hear about their cheeky and goofy host getting her life back on track. They supported her and poured their love out through countless comments and tweets." A fan commented, "Thank God, I've been praying for Wendy. I hate to see her go out like this. We are rooting for you, Wendy." Another one said, "She is a fighter. Keep her in prayers." But the aspect of her life that bore the maximum damage, even when she had gotten her life back on track, was her relationship with her son. That was when news resurfaced that Wendy Williams' son, Kevin Hunter Jr., is reportedly on the outs with his mother after she allegedly refuses to speak to him. On one hand, her family relations suffered immensely, while on the other hand, many people suspected a relapse because of her short-term admission in rehab. Someone said, 2 months is not enough time for Wendy. She needs more time. Turns out the predictions were right, and Wendy suffered a fallback into her addiction. Seeing his mother tumble through one battle after another was enough to bring Kevin Jr. to his senses. And so he decided to mend things with his mother by sending an emotional message for her. He seems upset seeing the same circumstances replay, which his mother had seemingly left behind. He obviously misses what he had with Wendy before he decided to ruthlessly tell her to sort her life out instead of accompanying her through the entire journey. That is his biggest regret too. But here's what we are worried about. How does his input change things now, if at all? That's it for today, folks. Until next time, goodbye.